Hey, welcome to Learn Algebra Faster. Today's video is going to cover mean, median, and mode in reverse. And what I mean by that is most of the time we are given a set of numbers and we're asked to calculate and find the mean, the median, and the mode. And today's video is going to discuss what happens when we do the opposite, when we're given the mean, the median, and the mode, and we have to come up with a set of numbers that satisfy these requirements. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and get started with the median. And so we're going to go ahead and add that to our list, and we're going to put it right in the middle because median is always the middle value. We're going to start with 23 in the middle, and the key here is that we know when we add numbers less than 23, we also have to add the same amount of numbers that are greater than 23. So we'll start with the median, and now we'll go to the mode. And the mode happens the most often, so we're going to add 2 or 3 of these just so we make sure they show up most often. So now our set of numbers is 17, 17, 17, and 23. Okay. Well, since we added 3 numbers that are less than 23, we also need to add 3 numbers that are greater than 23. And right now we don't exactly know what those are going to be, so we'll call them A, B, and C. And ideally, we would like for A, B, and C to be greater than 23 and also give us a mean of 20. So far we've satisfied 2 of the criteria, and let's see if we can satisfy the mean as well. So what the mean is we will add all these numbers up and we'll divide by how many numbers there are. We know that 17 plus 17 plus 17 plus 23 is 74. And we will also need to add A, B, and C. So we'll add those. There's a total of 7 numbers. And when we divide that, our mean should be 20. Okay, let's go ahead and solve this and isolate the A, B, and C, and then we'll work further. So we'll do inverse operations by multiplying the 7. This eliminates the 7 here. 7 times 20 is 140. And we're left with 74 plus A plus B plus C. Let's do inverse operations again to get the A, B, and C by themselves. And 140 minus 74 leaves us with 66. So we know that A, B, and C have to be 3 numbers that add to 66 to be able to satisfy our mean. The problem here is that we can't choose A, B, and C that are both greater than 23 and still add up to 66. So this is where we have to be a little more creative. Since this can't happen, we're actually going to have to add some more numbers to our set. So to not make this too complicated, I'm going to go ahead and make A equal 24, B equal 25, and C equal 26. Okay, so we still have satisfied the median because 23 is in the middle. We've still satisfied the mode because 17 happens most often. But in the numbers that we've chosen so far, our mean is not 20. So we're going to have to add a number on the right. We'll call it D. And we'll also have to add a number on the left, and we'll call it E. So we're going to have to try this again. Let's look at the mean one more time. We want it to be 20. This time we have 9 numbers. So we add 17, 17, 17, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And that all adds up to 149. Now remember, we have E and D that we still have to take care of. So we must add those because they will go into the final total. And now we divide this by how many numbers are in our set, and that is now 9. Okay, so let's solve for D and E. We'll do inverse operations to get rid of the 9. 9 times 20 is 180. The sum of the existing numbers that we know is 149 still. And we add D and E. Let's do another round of inverse operations and get rid of the 149. Now 180 minus 149 is 31. So now this looks much better. Okay, so now we can get a little creative because we're close to the finish line. We know that E and D have to add to get 31 so that we can satisfy our mean. And to make sure that we don't mess up our median, we want one of those to be less than 23 and we want one of those to be greater than 23. Okay, so I'm just going to arbitrarily make E equal to 4, and we'll solve for D. So let's go over here and make E 4, and we'll come down here, do inverse operations, and 31 minus 4 leaves us with 27 equals D. So we add that here and we're finished. Now, like I said, this allows some creativity because we actually didn't solve it with just 7 numbers, but you can always add more numbers so that everything is satisfied. And our final answer is the set of numbers 4, 17, 17, 17, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. There you go. Okay, let's look at another problem quick. All right. If we have a mean of 20 and a median of 20 and a mode of 20, how do we go about doing this? Well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is it's okay for the mean, median, and mode to all be 20. The bad news is that on a homework solution, technically you can answer this question by starting with the median and we're finished. Now, most of the time you'll have to have 3 numbers, 5 numbers, or 7 numbers before they'll accept that on a homework problem. But technically, just the single number 20 satisfies everything. It's the middle number, so it's the median. It's the only number that shows up, so it shows up the most, which means it's also the mode. And since there's an average of only one number, it's also the mean. So technically we're done, but let's just say that we need to get 4 or 5 numbers before this is okay. We'll still start off by making it the median first and putting that in the middle. Now let's move on to the mode. Okay, to make sure that 20 shows up the most often, we're actually going to add 1 to each side. Now these are all equal, but we just want to make 20 show up most often, so I add it 2 or 3 times. Alright, so we want our mean to equal 20, so we know that we're going to have to add some numbers. So let's add A and B, and when we add these up and divide by 5, we should end up with a mean of 20. So we need to find some combination of A and B that satisfies this. Let's do inverse operations on the 5. That eliminates the 5. 5 times 20 is 100. A plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 60. Plus B. Okay, let's do another round of inverse operations. Get rid of the 60. 100 minus 60 is 40. And A plus B has to equal 40. So this is good because some combination of A plus B needs to equal 40, and that will satisfy the mean. Now, since we're right around the middle, if I choose A less than, I also want B to be greater than. So I'm just going to arbitrarily decide that A needs to equal 15. So let's go ahead and solve. If A equals 15, what does B need to be? We'll do inverse operations by subtracting 15 from each side, and we're left with 25 equals B. So we have solved our problem by using the numbers 15, 20, 20, 20, and 25. Well done. There's mean, median, and mode in reverse.